In this video, we're going to be making a low poly treasure chest in Blender. And if you're a beginner, you're going to learn a ton from this video. If you want to follow along and make this yourself, there's a link in the description to get my free startup file, and it has all the materials and textures you need so you can easily follow along and make this with me. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start with this cube, and I think I'll just hit tab to go into edit mode, and let's scale this on Y and just make this a little bit wider for our treasure chest kind of size. Let's take this top face. I'll hit 3 to go to face mode, and then GZ to bring this down. This is going to be kind of the main body of the treasure chest. And then let's extrude this up a little bit, and this will be the top of it. And I think something like that's going to work just fine. I'll hit 2 to go to edge mode and grab both of these edges, and I think we'll just bevel these edges. So Control B to bevel, and I'll roll up on my scroll wheel to make that a little bit more rounded. I'll hit C on the keyboard to constrain this to make sure that we don't kind of overshoot that. So if I don't have C, see, look at this, it kind of goes over. But if I hit C, then it kind of constrains that. And I think that's pretty good. Let's maybe roll up 1. Nah, let's keep it down. Let's keep it down like that. Okay, cool. And I'll click on that. And now we're going to have a couple problems here. One is this edge is kind of right over another edge. So if I hit G, see how there's a face there, but it has 0 area. So we need to fix that. And we also have this little edge right here, or these edges here, and we can kind of fix this a couple ways. We can either merge these together and have it sharp on top, or we can spread them apart. But having them so close together, probably not the best. I think let's try and just scale this on X and just bring this out a little more. There we go. Yeah, that works. Sure. Okay. I'm going to hit A to select all, and then M for merge, and then merge by distance. That's going to remove 4 vertices. Those vertices are going to be here, 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 and here. And so now that duplicate edge is not there anymore. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now we have this nice and clean. That's looking good. I'm going to make a ring here, Control R to make an edge loop, and then this will be the top of our top. Yeah, there we go. The top of our chest. I think that works pretty well. I like that. Okay, so I mean the main shape is there. Now let's make this a little bit more interesting. I think let's just Control R to make a ring, and we'll split this in 2. I'll click on this and then right click to not move that around. Then let's scale this on Y. Okay, something like that. We're just kind of making those edges. Yeah, so now we have these this kind of ring of faces on each side. I like that. And then let's grab these 3 faces on each side, and let's inset this. So I for inset. Let's bring that in something like that. Maybe a little more. I for inset, yeah. Something like that, so it's nice and big and chunky. Good. Let's extrude this by hitting Alt-E and then extruding faces along normals. So I can bring these out or in. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Yeah, see? That looks good. Now, let's also grab this ring. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to grab the ring. Yeah, I'll grab the ring. So I'll just hold Alt, make sure I'm in face mode, and grab that, and then I'll just shift select this. No, I'll select all of it. Alt-E to extrude faces along normals, and again, we're going to just kind of bring those in a little bit. See what we're doing? Oh, that looks so good. It's so easy. All right, now we got to make kind of the lock. So we can do this a bunch of ways. We could make that separate, or we could kind of split this. I think it's probably easier to make it separate. So I'll hit Tab and then Shift A for another mesh, and we'll go to Cube, and let's scale this down, and GX, there we go. And Let's scale it on X. There we go, G, Z. Kind of make sure that's right there. I think that's pretty good. Let's go in here, hit Tab, and actually it's a little bit cleaner to have done all that in edit mode, in tab mode. Now I have kind of this weird transform on it. And so if I go to the transform thing, you can see the location is not at 0. The scale is not at 1. And so I'm just going to hit Control A for apply. And I'm just going to apply all transforms. What that's going to do is set these to 0. It's going to set the scale to 1. And that's just going to fix some problems that we might have. And so I'm going to hit 2 on the keyboard and select these edges. And let's bevel these. Control B. Yes, something like that. I think maybe you don't even have to go that far. Yeah, let's keep 3. Okay, great. There's that. For our lock, yes, good. Okay. And then I think that could probably be just fine for our lock. Maybe we'll make a little hole or something here just to kind of give it something. We could also put a texture on that depending on what we want to do. I think maybe we'll just leave it like that because that's a good really low poly model. I like that. If we want to, we could also kind of bevel this a little bit. So why don't we do that? Let's just bevel this and add a little more geometry here. I'll hit 2 and then hold Alt and grab this edge and then hit Control B, and I'm going to roll back and just chamfer this. That's just a 1 segment bevel. That looks good. I'm going to do a similar thing for this chest here. I'm going to hold Alt and grab this edge and Shift Alt this edge. And let's bevel that. There we go. And let's also do the same thing for these edges. And we'll take that down just a little bit. Yeah, I like that. We could also bevel this. We might have been able to do this all at the same time, but that's okay. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. All right. Now, do we want to change these? I don't know. I'll just leave them. I think that's fine. We'll have that sit on the ground. That looks great. Right click, shade auto smooth. See how that looks? Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay, let's do one thing here. Let's just add a little bit of a seam here. I'll just hit Control B to bevel this. And let's just roll this up 1. Okay, so we're going to do something like this. Good. And then I'll hit 2 and Alt select this ring and then just scale it down. Just so we have a little bit of a edge there. That's cool. I love that. That's really cool. Okay, let's grab this and maybe bring it up. Edit mode, G, Z. Yes. I like it. All right, that's a cool chest. All right, let's work on some color for this. Now, if you have the starter project, there's this little thing called render stuff here. If I go over here to this funnel and then click on the little computer screen here, click on that, and we can see that we have this whole like studio set up so that we can render this nicely. And so why don't we just look at this through the camera? I'm actually going to join this. Control J, join this. G, Z, bring this up, put this on the ground. There we go. And then let's actually scale this here. Let's scale it, G, Z. Put this down on the ground like that, and then rotate it on Z. There we go. Yeah, maybe a little bigger. Yeah, something like that. Cool. All right, there's our chest, and let's colorize this. Let's go over to our UV editing, and we have this set up with this rainbow texture, and the idea here is that we can select all of the faces. So I'm in edit mode. I'll hit A for all, and then 3 for all the faces. That's going to select them all over here in the UV editor. And what we can do is we can just kind of scale these down and put them on one color for whatever we want to colorize. And so we're kind of just like picking from this palette here. What I'll do first of all is I'll go to the X-axis and go to UVs, project from view. So we just have a little picture here. You can really do it any way you want, I guess, because we're just kind of scaling them down, but I don't know. It feels better that way. So let's make this brown. So I'll take this down, just scaling it, and then we'll maybe do something like this and maybe scale it on Y. So it's a little bit brighter at the top and a little darker on the bottom. Yeah, see, that's cool. That's cool. And then let's grab the edges here. Let's do, let's actually just hit A for all. And then let's deselect this ring. So I'll hold Alt and Shift and select that ring. Yeah, so that will be that. And then we'll also hit C for our circle selection and hold Shift. And that's going to let us deselect just this edge. I'll hit Escape to get out of there and move around. Again, C, Shift. There we go. That's a good way to just deselect stuff without having to do anything crazy. So now we've selected basically everything except for kind of the main part of that. And let's make that kind of a gold. So I'll just grab this and bring it over here. Yeah. Something like that. Maybe we even want to do like a light orange. That's cool. Yes. I love that. That's really cool. We could also make it silver if we want to. Whatever you want to do. Maybe we'll make this part silver. Let's see. What does it look like silver? Ooh, I think I like it silver better. Yeah, I like that a lot better. The other thing I might want to do is let's grab this and scale it on Y a little more. So it's a little bit more of a ramp. Yeah, that looks really cool. I love that. All right, let's go to our render and let's render this and see what it looks like. Render image, let's go. Oh, that looks so sick. That looks so cool. We made that. Hey, so I hope this has been fun for you. If you want to learn the intricacies of modeling and really get started in the very best way, Blender 101 is where you want to be. Okay, so that is my course on modeling in Blender, and it goes into all of these concepts that we've been doing in this video in more detail and is a little bit more in depth. So check that out. There's a link in the description. I'll also put a little clicky thing here. And I hope you learned a lot. I hope this has been fun. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.